Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time of year again. E3 is once again just around the corner, and developers and publishers are withdrawing from the public eye in order to save their upcoming games for their big E3 reveals. However, the number of highly anticipated games that have yet to be released, even after appearing at past E3s, still have a lot of people guessing. Here's 20 games that we think you should expect to see at E3 2019. Upcoming Platinum Games title. While Platinum Games has had a busy year since the last E3, announcing 2 separate games both at E3 and at a past Nintendo Direct, there's still at least one game that they haven't announced yet. Alongside Babylon's Fall and Astral Chain, Platinum claims that they're developing a game that's never been done before. And we're hoping to see some sort of reveal at E3, hopefully alongside some gameplay from Platinum's other titles. Splinter Cell. While nothing has actually been officially announced yet, Ubisoft's creative director Julian Garrity once casually confirmed that a brand new Splinter Cell game was in development. There hasn't been a Splinter Cell game since Splinter Cell Blacklist back in 2013, and Sam Fisher has been doing his job and staying undetected since that game released. The only time Fisher has been cited since then is in a special event in Ghost Recon Wildlands, where he laments the passing of Metal Gear and Snake from the stealth action genre. If a Splinter Cell game is announced at E3, hopefully America's best spy will be back in fine form. Assassin's Creed 2020. Recent leaks, again from Ubisoft, have apparently given us the location of where the next game will be taking place. This Assassin's Creed game will be pulling a god of war on us and taking us from ancient Greece to the Viking Age. It will likely follow the same sort of style as the last few Assassin's Creed games like Origins and Odyssey, but bringing us further into history, back closer to the Middle Ages, would be a good way to bridge the new series to the old. Either way, we'll have to wait and see how the game looks. Luminous Productions' first game. After leaving Square Enix several months ago, former Final Fantasy director Hajime Tabata started his own company called Luminous Productions. Since then, they've apparently been hard at work on some form of new AAA IP, and hopefully we'll be seeing something about that when E3 rolls around. Whether it's just a teaser trailer or actual gameplay for it, with Hajime Tabata at the helm, hopefully this new game is able to get Luminous Productions off to a strong start. Naoki Yoshida's next project. Naoki Yoshida is likely known to a lot of Final Fantasy fans as the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. However, some time ago he was appointed to head the 3rd development division at Square Enix in order to helm a new project that had been in development for around a year. With that much time behind it, we'll hopefully be able to see a trailer and maybe even some gameplay as well, whether it's a new Final Fantasy title or something else. Dino Crisis Reboot. Dino Crisis is an obscure but still apparently popular series of survival horror action adventure and light gun games developed by Capcom. The last game was Dino Crisis 3, which was released way back in 2003. Since then, there's been no news on the series. However, a leaked prediction list has hinted at the possibility of a Dino Crisis reboot being revealed at E3 2019. While there's no telling if that list is true or not, it would still be an interesting way for Capcom to reboot or remaster yet another long-running franchise as they did to Resident Evil. New Ninja Theory game. Ninja Theory made waves back in 2017 when they released Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which won critical acclaim for its story and the way that it portrayed psychosis. The studio is also responsible for the VR game VADER Immortal, a new Star Wars property. However, Ninja Theory has also said they're also developing a new game, though we haven't learned anything about what it will actually be about or what it will involve. Hopefully, the company will once again be able to catch what made Hellblade great and have another hit on their hands. Joseph Fares' next game. Joseph Fares has made his claim to gaming fame on co-op focused video games that tell emotional stories. As the creator behind Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons and A Way Out, he's now making another game, and fans of his work are likely going to be pretty eager to see what it is, and likely curious as to how he'll rip their hearts out at the end of it. Harry Potter: Magic Awakened. It's been a very long time since we got a Harry Potter video game. Since the film series ended in 2011 and the last console Harry Potter game we got was back in 2011 with the licensed and LEGO versions of Harry's final confrontation with Voldemort. Harry Potter Magic Awakened is an RPG game that is being kept under tight secrecy. A supposedly leaked trailer was rapidly pulled down from YouTube by Warner Brothers, and while we haven't gotten confirmation that the game is real, there's no telling what to expect when it releases. Since Harry Potter's been experiencing a resurgence lately with the Fantastic Beasts movies, hopefully this upcoming Harry Potter title will be good. Bluepoint Games' RE-ENVISIONED game. Bluepoint Games was brought into the public eye after doing an amazing job on the remastered Shadow of the Colossus game. Now, they're building on that success by apparently doing another remaster, which was confirmed in 2018. With that in mind, we're now left to wonder exactly what they're going to be remaking. While there's been speculation that it will be a PS4 remastering of Demon's Souls, supported by the fact that the game shut its servers down permanently some time ago, there's no actual official announcement yet. Hopefully, we'll be getting one at E3. Next ROCKSTEADY game. Various rumors have apparently been floating around that ROCKSTEADY is in the middle of developing another game, with the speculation ranging from a new Superman game, a Suicide Squad game, a game called Batman Arkham Crisis, and more. However, the studio has confirmed none of these, so if it is actually developing a new game, we'll just have to wait and see. ROCKSTEADY will need to have something to really hype people up though, considering how Batman Arkham Knight's release went. Square Enix's Avengers game. With the MCU forever changed after the release of Avengers Endgame, Square Enix is finally getting into the Marvel popularity train by developing an Avengers RPG of its very own. While we haven't seen anything about it yet and don't know what it's about, hopefully it will be able to subvert the normal licensed game expectations and end up good. It'll have to be, especially since a long-awaited new entry in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance series is coming to the Nintendo Switch later this year. Project RE-Fantasy. Project RE-Fantasy is apparently the brainchild of Persona 5 director Katsura Hashino, who also served as director and producer for every Persona game since 3. However, in 2016 it was announced that he is now moving on to work on Project RE-Fantasy, a new fantasy-focused RPG developed by Studio Zero. While we don't know if this game is going to be at E3, it would be a good time for the studio to show off its work on the game and also to help drum up buzz for it, even if we don't know when it will come out or what the game will be about. Fable 4. Fable has been a non-entity in gaming since Lionhead Studios shut down back in 2016, in the middle of developing a new Fable game called Fable Legends. However, Playground Games, who you might be more familiar with as the creators of the Forza series, has apparently stepped up to continue the series. While this could be a breath of fresh air for Fable, which continually suffered under Peter Molyneux's overly ambitious promises, there's no telling how the game will turn out, especially coming from a developer who has only developed racing games for the last few years. Watch Dogs 3. Watch Dogs 2 managed to pull the series out of the pit of mockery that it had put itself into, being highly reviewed with a lot of praise directed to it. Now there's talk of a third Watch Dogs game which will likely take place in a new city with a new protagonist and a new plot. While it's only been a little over 2.5 years since Watch Dogs 2 was even released, Ubisoft might have been emboldened by Watch Dogs 2's success and so want to continue the series to make up for the original Watch Dogs shortcomings. Jason Schreier also confirmed the game's existence on Twitter. Either way, we'll see at E3. Destroy All Humans. Destroy All Humans seemed to scratch an itch that the gaming community didn't even know it had when it first released in 2005, putting players in control of an alien soldier named Crypto as he invaded Earth to clear the way for his own species, the Furon. The game mixed in a wide variety of alien weapons with stereotypes of 1950s culture, and while it lost its luster after Destroy All Humans 2 in 2006, THQ Nordic is apparently looking to bring the game back in yet another remaster to take advantage of long-neglected properties formerly owned by the original THQ. Whether it's a remastered version of the original Destroy All Humans or a brand new game to rekindle nostalgia, hopefully whatever THQ Nordic has planned for Destroy All Humans, if it shows up at E3, will be great. Resident Evil 8. With Resident Evil 2 Remake out of the way, and with the amazing success of Resident Evil 7, the time may be ripe for Capcom to put out a new Resident Evil game. Since Resident Evil 7 came out back in 2017, the series has experienced a resurgence in popularity, likely helped by a great deal by its return to survival horror rather than a third-person shooter game with zombies. While it's only been 2 years since the last Resident Evil game released, Resident Evil 7 was first announced at E3 2016, a full year before. Capcom might go for the same sort of marketing and hype machine a second time. Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 was originally announced back in 2014 at that year's E3, but since then we've heard nothing about it, other than a change of director to Sumo Digital. THQ Nordic CEO Lars Wingefors told press at THQ Nordic's quarterly earnings report that we should pay attention to events in the future, so maybe after 4 years we'll finally have a release date and some gameplay for Dead Island 2. Considering that Crackdown 3 was also announced in 2014 and only came out this year, we might have a similar sort of situation with Dead Island 2. Hopefully though, it will be better received than Crackdown 3 was. Battlefield 6. Going by the timetable of high-profile first-person shooter games these days, some people are suggesting that EA is going to make use of its E3 time this year to announce Battlefield 6, since it's been almost a year since Battlefield 1 came out. Battlefield 5's debut trailer came out around this time last year, May 23rd to be exact, and came out later that year in November. While we haven't heard anything about a Battlefield 6, the possibility is still there about the release of another spin-off game similar to Battlefield Hardline, which came out during the gap between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. There's also the possibility of the long-awaited return of Battlefield Bad Company, which is seen as one of the best Battlefield-related games and gave the revamped games the idea of levolution and destructible environments. The new Legend of Zelda game. The possibility of a new Legend of Zelda game at least being announced is a possibility too. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was first given its teaser at E3 2014, where players were shown not only the new design for Link, but a completely open Hyrule that was unlike any version of the setting ever seen before. Considering that it's been around 2 years since Breath of the Wild was released, and Monolith Soft has previously claimed that they're working with Nintendo on a new Legend of Zelda game through job listings. Nintendo has already announced that it would be remaking The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening earlier this year, but the announcement of a major Legend of Zelda title still can't really be discounted. There's only a few weeks until E3, and thus only a few weeks until we get to see which of these predictions are true and which of them are bogus. If you're interested in what games could be announced or elaborated on further at the conference, then either pay attention to Twitch, YouTube, or right here at SegmentNext.com if you want to keep up to date on what games make it to E3. For more videos and lists like this one, be sure to subscribe to our channel or visit our website. I'll talk to you in the next video.